prior to Awfully Sinister's video.
The 90s were one of the most exciting and vibrant times for the goth subculture, and if you like goth music, here are 5 albums from the 90s that you should listen to. This is a great album. Ego Drum by Das Ik is lots of angry German vocals, orchestra samples, and industrial beats.
I had seriously never heard of Das Ik.
Ego Drum by Das Ik is lots of angry German vocals.
Whoa, has the what now? Ah, god damn it. Well, this is awkward. I'm getting sued. So why is my username Egodram, my signature on my artwork Egodram, all that stuff? Well, like I said, there's actually a messed up reason for that. TLDR, it's an ongoing act of revenge that I've been doing online for the last 20 years. So, content warning, this is going to get ugly. In 2003, I was in a violently abusive relationship, getting out of which took nothing short of a miracle, and I almost did not get out alive. Obviously left me with years worth of issues, some of which I still struggle with today. And as I was struggling to get my life back together, find a new job, a new car, reconnect with friends that I was forced to isolate from for the duration of that relationship, and I mean forced to sever ties with people that I had known since high school in the 90s, and some of whom from art school from the early 2000s. One of which was just someone I used to chill with. Also, like Awfully Sinister, made great music recommendations, had great taste in music, and was a musician himself, and a pretty decent one from what I recall. But we never really hit it off in a romantic capacity, although that conversation had been brought up in the distant past. Nothing ever came of it. And I have always been one of those people, and this is the neurospiciness, if you don't tell me to my face that I did something strange or something I said came off rude, I will never know about it. Just social cues. Like, so I explained to everyone what happened, where I had been, that I managed to get away, and all of my friends seemed to be very understanding and wanted to help me, get a new job, offered, hey, do you need money? Some of them offered food. One of them offered me a place to stay, which was great. I rented from them for 7 months, a room in their house, and I am still a world of grateful. Basically helped save my life. Mind you, this was roughly around the same time that the platform LiveJournal started becoming really popular, the first real social media site service, if you will. Which, last I looked, is now run by a Russian company, by the way. But Congress didn't want to talk about that, did they? And this friend, who later turned out to be a fake friend, went by the handle Egodrum. And I just thought it was a strange, quirky handle, a weird little word, but we followed each other on LiveJournal, and we'd interact with each other's posts and comments and content. And LiveJournal was great because it was very customizable. You could add widgets, you could customize the font, the layout, your user pick, how many user icons you had, and which one you wanted to use for each post. So sometime around 2005, I've reconnected with most of my friends. He pretended to be happy to see me. I told him everything that had happened. I told him I had been hurt. I won't go into graphic details. And he seemed generally supportive, but not... Something fell off, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but we would still interact in friendly, like in pleasant manners, so I didn't think anything of it at the time. And then one day I commented on his, he had made a post about going to a particular music venue. Hey, here's where I'm going to be. This is my thing. He wasn't one of the musicians performing at this particular venue. Mind you, this was still when I lived in Portland, Maine, not the fake one in Oregon. So I figured, fuck it. I'll show up. I mean, he's putting it out there on his live journal that he's going to be at this place at this time, come hang out, right? He and his friends came in. I waved hi from the bar. They chatted among themselves, and then they turned around and they left. And I'm like, fuck. The next day, from what I recall, the next day, he blew up on me on LiveJournal because I commented on one of his posts. He and his friends blew up on me on his post. I didn't even say anything about the bar incident. And they were calling me all manner of misogynistic slurs, which is what my abuser used to do. And these people knew full well where I had been and what happened. And here's me really confused because at the absolute least, I was thinking that while these guys were not necessarily my friends, that they didn't have any problem with me, I felt kind of hurt and misled. And I'm like, what the fuck, you guys? What's going on? And then this friend not friend calls me the C word. This friend not friend knew everything. And he dropped the C word, knowing full well where I had been and what I had been through, and that I didn't have any secret expectations or anything like that. I just wanted to get my life back in order. So I disengaged, unfollowed, never spoke to him again after that. Fast forward, I want to say a few months later, late spring of 2005, my at the time boyfriend and I go on vacation in London with a 2-day layover in Iceland because we missed our flight back to the States and we had a wonderful time, and I told all my friends about it, and good times. Was not in the continental United States, obviously. And then it was 2, maybe 3 weeks after returning to the US, I happened to pop into Casco Bay Books, which sadly no longer exists. And I turn a corner and I see 2 of those people who were in the bar the other night, and I whip around to the other side, hoping they don't see me because I'm not trying to get involved in something I'm clearly not welcome in. And mind you, I'm going to pick my next words very carefully. Apparently there had been a rumor going around that I had been following him around all over the place, which I was not, including the time I was in fucking England. He was allegedly telling people that I had done this and showed up at his job, and allegedly showed up at his job, allegedly walking up and down like his street, and allegedly keyed his car, a car I didn't even know he had. Obviously a piece of shit and a misogynistic piece of shit who calls a DV survivor the C word and continues to allow his male friends to call a DV survivor misogynistic slurs. Again, all this knowing full well what had happened where I had been. So that was a harsh realization, to pick your friends carefully, and not all of your friends are really your friends, and that was rough. So once things like MySpace and Twitter eventually started to become a thing, and LiveJournal just kind of faded out of the public eye, I got me a little idea. I started signing up for things like MySpace and Twitter under the name Egodram. Facebook, Egodram. Anything and everything that I could sign up for that was even vaguely social media related, Egodram. That was my handle. That is now my handle. And the reason for that was it clicked in my head that, no, fuck this dude. My mentality at the time was, I am never going to have a normal life ever again. I am never going to see the world or interact with the world the same way, or be able to form relationships or friendships with people the same way before that ever again. So that person, that situation took something that I'll never get back. So if all I can take from him is his weird little user handle, if for no other reason that every time he tries to sign up under that name, and he can't because username not available, he has to remember what a misogynistic piece of shit he is. It was my hope in starting to do that he would remember, oh crap, I pissed somebody off, I really hurt someone, and yeah, now I can't return to that aspect of my life anymore. Yeah, well, I can't return to a certain aspect of my life because you are a misogynistic piece of shit. So I've been using EgoDram as my user handles, as my public persona, ever since, just so someone else can't. And it's been 20 years I've been doing this. It's been 20 years. And I have never tried to contact him. I don't want to contact him. I don't want to talk to him. The time for apologies and diplomacy has long gone. So the word EgoDram is a 20-year and ongoing act of revenge.